All right, Richard, good morning. Happy Thursday, man. Arkansas got another football commit this week. Patrick Foley, 14th best kicker according to Cole's Kicking. Really excited about his potential. Just kind of your overall thoughts of what you've seen from Foley's high school performance so far, Richard.
Well, he's a guy that had interest from hometown Nebraska. So, for Arkansas to be able to get him away from the Cornhuskers, I think is pretty impressive, considering most kids that are raised in that state want to be a Cornhusker. So they obviously made him feel wanted. And that's exactly what he told me, that they worked extremely hard in telling him that they wanted him in Fayetteville, and even recruited his parents too as a preferred walk-on, which is pretty amazing that you'd spend that much time. But obviously they think highly of him. Like you said, 14th rated punter in the country according to ESPN, and he's just a guy that they've coveted for quite some time. And again, I'm just kind of surprised that a kid would leave Nebraska, but that says volumes about the staff at Arkansas.
Richard, you bleed right into my next point. When it comes to like states and their state schools, Nebraska and Arkansas, I feel like are the only two that come to mind that just the entire state is a fan of that one school. And there might be some, Creighton fans out there or whatever. For the most part, everyone in Arkansas is an Arkansas fan. Everyone in Nebraska is a Cornhusker fan. Is there another state or school that I'm missing across the country that doesn't have a professional team that really the whole state is behind, you think?
No. I've always said the same thing about Arkansas and Nebraska, very similar. And you have South Carolina and Clemson, but it's splitting the state. So there's really no other school in the country like Arkansas and Nebraska.
You look at this week's game, Arkansas and Ole Miss. I don't know how many recruits are out there, so I'm going to ask you the question that might be considering Arkansas or Ole Miss or a team in that region. I mean, I don't know how many times these games head-to-head really make a difference in a recruit's mind, but you think about some kids, think about a kid like KJ Jefferson or someone that's from that area that chose Arkansas over a school in state. Any kids that come to mind for you that might be looking at this game and trying to decide which way maybe to go with their career?
Yeah, Arkansas and Ole Miss are actually recruiting one of the better junior college defensive linemen in the country. Isaiah Aiton from Hutchinson Community College. I wrote about him last week, 6'4", 290 pounds, who has offers from Arkansas, Ole Miss, Maryland, Washington State, Houston, and several others. I think he's about to blow up because he's a midterm grad. Excuse me. And Arkansas and Ole Miss and Maryland just recently offered. And sometimes schools, they piggyback off other schools when they see schools extend offers, and maybe that schools around the country have not done their homework and noticed that a kid like Isaiah is still available. So he's a guy that right now I would probably say it's down to Arkansas and Ole Miss based on my conversation with him last week. And I think Arkansas holds a slight edge right now, but because of the way Arkansas is recruiting him for his Coach Odom and Coach Rhodes, they're recruiting him aggressively, and he's noted that. But I imagine there are some others, but he's the one that really comes off the top of my head just because it's a position of need.
You mentioned JUCO football and junior college football. Without them playing this year, how has that changed the recruiting efforts on that front? Because they're not playing fall football.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like basketball. As far as the 21 class, coaches, they're just evaluating based off film, and obviously not up-to-date film as far as game film. And it does make it much more difficult. There's going to probably be definitely some misevaluations by basketball and football coaches because of that. But that's all you got to go by is previous film, and you just hope that your evaluation is correct.
Talking with Richard Davenport here on the Morning Rush. Richard, when you look at the differences between Lane Kiffin and Sam Pittman and their recruiting styles, what are some of those that you think stand out that maybe elevate one or the other in a certain situation?
only one. I think that they're both very aggressive in recruiting, and I know that's a often used word, but kids nowadays, they have to know that they're wanted by a school, and that means that you basically got to contact them every day of the week, 7 days of the week. I mean, you may be able to skip a day or two during the week, but you have to be in constant contact. One thing I think with the difference, I think with Kiffin, he's more of a flash guy, to make controversial statements and try to be a little cute and try to be maybe a little hip with his some of his words and try to appeal to the younger guys. But I think with Coach Pittman and his staff, it's just genuine, and we're not gonna wow you with words or anything. We're just going to tell you that we want you. We're going to give you an idea how we want to utilize you. And I just think that if I had to come up with something that would be different, it would probably be that.
All right, Richard, a lot of football questions at this point. Just kind of your thoughts on Euler transfer Kamani Johnson and what he brings to the table.
Well, he's a guy that's definitely a paint in the paint scorer. He's not really going to do anything other than in the paint as far as his ability to score. But he's a rebounder too, 6'7", 215, and very, very, very active in the paint. He was third team Sun Belt, all Sun Belt last year as a sophomore, which is impressive. Usually, you usually see most of the guys that make all conference are juniors and seniors, but obviously a few underclassmen. But he averaged 11 points, 6.7 rebounds, 2 assists. So, and he shot 51% from the field, which you would expect from somebody that shoots mostly from the paint. But the one thing that he does do very well, and a guy that, when you have somebody in the paint, he gets to the free throw line. He shot made 114 free throws, 144 free throws last year, which is sixth best in ULR history for a single season. So his ability to get the rebound and get fouled and go to the free throw line is quite impressive.
Hey, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about high school football. We're seeing about a dozen or so games each week that aren't able to be played around the state, maybe a few more than that on a week-to-week basis. I think last week North Little Rock and Bryant both could not find opponents. Just your thoughts on high school football and kind of where we're at as we head into Week 7.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I can't even keep. I get texts about, hey, is so and so playing this week, and with me trying to keep up with the out-of-state football commitments and out-of-state Arkansas prospects that are also playing, I can't keep up with all the games that are being canceled. That's probably the most difficult part. I know Jeremy Muck from the Arkansas Democrat Gazette does a great job of being updated on that, and I try to pay attention to what he's tweeting out and putting in the paper. But I'm telling you, sometimes I'm struggle trying to know who's playing and who's not. And I know it's frustrating because coaches will actually reach out to me and say, "Hey, can you help us? Do you know anybody that might be able to play this week?" And it's just it's obviously a tough time for those guys and the kids too, because especially the seniors, they're wanting to play as many games as possible. But that's just this where we are right now.
Yeah, I don't want to be the person in charge down at the Arkansas Activities Association of filling out the brackets and figuring out the seating this year when not everything is going to be equal in regards of schedules, because that's not going to be an easy job. So
has that happened to you, Tommy, as far as you being canceled because of a game being canceled?
I've had one game that we have lost, and it's just part of the deal this year. So
yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is. So, all right, Richard, we appreciate your time every Thursday. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, buddy. We'll see you guys.